Hey Mike, I'm back with Joe. Hercules Dust Extractor. I'll let you do the review. I ain't no good. I'll try to keep your camera level. All right, Michael Lee, I appreciate that. Now keep your camera level. We're going to find out if this Hercules Dust Extractor that Michael Lee picked up from Harbor Freight today is any good. Is it a fantastic deal and budget upgrade for your shop, or is it something that you need to leave on the shelf? There's other videos out there. They've done a great job on them. I've watched them, but I want to go just a little bit deeper and find out just how solid this thing is and if it's going to be any good for your shop. You ready? Let's get rolling. All right, let's pull this puppy out the box. Y'all ready? Let's find out what's inside. Instructions. I'm just kidding. Look, landed in the box. Telling me I need to read them. You need to. Also. It's put together right out the box, all except for a few things. That's pretty good. That's one thumbs up so far. We got to dive deeper than that, though, don't we? Michael Lee, get out the box over there. Stop playing around. All right, let's get this thing finished up, and we're going to get you down low and look at it and see what it's all about. Here we go. All right, first impressions right out the box. I like this. It's got the wheels on it, so it'll, if you can see that, it'll help you stay off the floor. Won't suck down to the floor, so that's another thumbs up. I like that. Got a good solid piece of rubber on the back to help push water if you're doing water. That's a great job right there. All right, packed inside. Your hose. Standard fitting on it. This is an anti-static hose, so that's good. Came with a dust bag, which I would recommend using, and some other accessories. Can you see that? 2 HEPA filters. And this thing is supposed to be self-cleaning. Locking casters. Big wheels on the back is going to help you roll over cords. Adjustable handle. This thing's all right. So far, so good. All right, this thing came put together pretty much right out the box, so that's a thumbs up. Anytime I can save energy doing something like that, that's another thumbs up for me. So great job on that part, by the way. So this thing comes with a 6.5 peak horsepower. It's supposed to get over 99% of particles that are 0.3 microns or larger. It's supposed to filter out. It's got 2 HEPA filters on it that does that. It comes with an extraordinary, I say extraordinary, that's a pretty thick dust bag right there, guys. I mean, that's pretty thick. I like that. So that's going to help you even more filter out more dust than what most others will do. Let's get this bag installed, this dust bag. Now, look, guys, this dust bag is going to help your filters even more, and it's going to save them even more. So you just pop it on there. Make sure it's good in there, good and flat up against the sides, because you want it to fill up as much as you can. Look, this thing says 12 gallons, but by the time you put these puppies inside, it's not going to be 12 gallons. You're not going to get 12 gallons out of it. So that's pretty much it, putting it together. So now let's get on to the next part. I would highly recommend using the dust bag because, like I said, even though the filters are self-cleaning and it's OSHA compliant with that, it's going to help them stay clean even more if you put that in there. So let's roll on to the next part. All right, guys, bear with me. I'm holding the camera because I want to show you a few things. This connector has a tab on it that when you put it in to your dust extractor, you twist it and it's locked. Now here's where the locking casters come into play. I'm going to show you something. I've got that locked in and I pull on it and I'm pulling it, and I'm not pulling it off the table. So there's a solid pull, and I'm not pulling it off the table. So that's a really good thing. That's a thumbs up there too. Also a thumbs up is this heavy duty cord. It's not your standard shop vac cord. This thing is heavy duty, so it's not going to get hot. It's not going to overheat. So that's a safety feature to me. So that's a thumbs up. The other thing I like is that it's got 2 dust ports, and it has their filters on the inside too, behind there on each side. So that's even cutting down more on the dust that's entering the air, which this thing's catching 99% of it, so it should be pretty good. So that's a pretty good shot right there of the Hercules Dust Extractor. We're going to get ready to put this thing to use. We're going to test the sound on it, see how loud it is. We're going to check out the knobs on both sides, what they do. One is a volume control, or how much suction you want. You've got your port here to where you can plug in your tool, and the vacuum will turn on itself. But so far, this thing is on point. Hey, it's Michael Lee. I'm going to turn this thing on before Michael gets back. He went and got a bottle of water. I'm going to try it out. I'm going to see if it... Michael Lee, what are you doing? Uh-oh. You better run, boy. What are you doing? Don't you mess with my tools. I done told you, Michael Lee, stay behind the camera. That's all I've trained you on. Now let's get to the rest of this thing and find out what it's like. Michael Lee, don't do that again, boy. All right, we're back. I've got the decibel meter here, and I want to see just how loud this puppy is. So, man, I say that word a lot, don't I? Puppy! So let's see. Right now we're reading 45 decibels in the shop without it running. So let's see what it is with it running. Y'all hear that? Didn't know if you heard it or not, but let's try it. A lot of suction. It's awful quiet too. It's not that loud. Right here, you've got your self-cleaning is on. You can actually turn that on and off if you want to, but I want it on, and what it does, be smart to turn it off so you can hear me better, but it's really not that loud. You saw the decimal meter there, but you'll hear a pulsating. It'll like the sound will change, and what that's doing is it's blowing air through different filters, switching filters and blowing different air, cleaning the filters. But if you got your dust bag in there, remember that's one thing that's going to help you out. So that's another thumbs up, baby. Self-cleaning, not that loud. That's actually 2 thumbs up. So let's get on to testing it out. You ready? Let's get rolling. Hey, Michael Lee just reminded me, don't forget, leave me a comment. Let me know if you've used this dust extractor. Why is that so hard for me to say today? Dust extractor. If you've used this thing before and compared it to other ones, let me know what your thoughts are on it. So far, I'm liking it. I think it's a good budget upgrade for your shop. But don't forget, throw me a thumbs up in there. By the way, guys, memberships are now offered on the channel for $2.99. I'll send out each month to the members only free plans and laser files, all kind of things that you'll get free for that $2.99. So don't forget, sign up. It's real simple and easy. Just hit that membership button and I would appreciate it. So let's get on to testing one more thing or a couple of more things and find out if it's still stacking up as high as we need it to stack up for a budget-friendly upgrade for our shop. Here we go. Let's roll, baby. Michael Lee. I'm listening, Mike. Yeah, I'm done, Michael Lee. All right, turn the camera off. Let's restage. Here we go. Woo, Michael Lee, those are some good hot dogs, man. I appreciate you cooking them. Well done. Maybe you're getting better at the camera, but you're also fantastic on that grill, baby. All right, let's talk about these dual HEPA filters just a little bit more. And what that auto reverse airflow is doing, it's a pulsating airflow. It's not a constant, pushing air through one filter to clean it. It's a pulse to try to blow any particulates that are caught in the filter out, and it switches between filters. So you're going to hear the vacuum change tones, and what that's doing is one filter is being cleaned and one filter is acting as a dust collection. So that happens about every 10 seconds, like I said, but it's giving you a continuous dust collection system. And I'm telling you, so far, this Hercules Dust Extractor is all it's cracked up to be. I think they've hit a home run with this thing. So I'm going to turn it on and let's see if we can hear that pulsating action going on. And I'll try to create it. Blooper time! So what that's doing is cleaning one filter at a time with a pulse of air while one is still operating. I think that's huge. A lot of other vacuums or extractors have that, but I think that's huge when you're looking for something to help maintain the dust or control the dust in your shop. So far, there we go. That's another thumbs up. All right, I've got my sander hooked up and plugged into the dust extractor, and we're going to try it out on this piece of wood. I want you to pay close attention to why this is running, if you can hear the sound change and how quick the vacuum turns on when I turn the sander on. So let's take a look at that and see how it does and see if we get a lot of dust coming off of it or if it's sucking hard enough. Now I do turn it down when I'm using the sander. You've got a knob, and I'll show you that. You've got a knob that you can control the volume of suction, or the power of suction that's coming through the system. So let's try it out. Vacuum's on. What it was doing was cleaning the filters. You could hear it pulsating to clean the filters after the sander was turned off. So that's not a bad thing. That's actually doing what it's supposed to do, clean the filters. So I'm going to bring the dust extractor back up on the table, and I want to show you the knobs that I was using. By the way, these little cookies from Rockler, cheap, and they're really good. Hold your stuff up off the table. All right, what we've got here is on the power, you've got a symbol, a plug symbol that you can actually turn to, and that's going to operate whatever you've got plugged into the dust extractor to turn it on and off as you turn your tool on and off, which is a really good thing. So, and this right here is a volume control. I call it a volume control, but it's actually controlling the amount of suction power coming through the vacuum cleaner. And the reason I want it turned down with a sander, and I've heard this on several videos, and I agree with them 100%, is that you don't want your sander sucking to the wood so hard that it's not cleaning the dust or the sawdust off of whatever you're sanding. So far, man, we're on point with this thing. I still think it's a good budget upgrade so far. So we're going to find out more as we continue on. We're going to hook it up to the track saw now and see just how good it does. All right, here my track saw is cordless, so you're not going to be able to use the tool function on it, but we'll still be able to turn the vacuum on and see how well it collects the dust off of this track saw. Now here, I want the power up high because a track saw is going to create a lot of dust. All right. Compared to when I use it with just the bag on the track saw, that was pretty daggone good. I saw a little dust flying, but not a lot. And I mean, very little bit. But if you know track saws, they kick off a lot of dust. And even on mine, I have the cover on it to try to reduce even more dust kicking out and creating more suction power in it. So that's another good point there. We've come to the point where I want to test the actual, and this is a rudimentary test for how much suction this vacuum has, but I've created 3 blocks and I've weighed them on my scale. We've got one that's 10.4 ounces. We got one that is 1.3 pounds. And we got one that's 2.3 pounds. So we're going to find out by just turning the vacuum on, sticking the hose to it, seeing if it will actually lift that much weight to give us a gauge on how much suction power it has on full power, and then we'll drop it halfway and then all the way down. That was 1.3 pounds. Halfway. Lowest setting. All right, so I think what you get from that, and like I said, it's a rudimentary test, is no matter the power setting you're going to be, or the suction power setting, you're going to be able to pick up both the 1.3 and the 10.4 ounces all the way through. So I actually think you're going to get to about 1.5 to 2 pounds, not quite 2 pounds of suction power. So I know it's a rudimentary, like I said, test, but that'll give you some strength ideas on what this vacuum will actually lift and how much power it has. All right, Michael Lee, start rolling. All right, going to finish up right here. I'm telling you guys, for a budget-friendly dust extractor, this is the way to go. You know, compared to a Festool that's over $900 to $1,200, depending on the model you get for this kind or this size, you can't beat this. Harbor Freight and Hercules has done it again, and they've knocked it out of the park, in my opinion. Now, some things that I didn't mention, you get some accessories, a little crevice tool, a brush. You also get a smaller adapter that you can put on your hose. Now, it's lefty or righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, just with anything else, but they just unscrew. And you can switch and put the other one on. It's actually opposite, ain't it? That's lefty. So you just screw it on, and then you've got another attachment that'll reduce or increase the size of the port you're working on. Comes with a little dust, or not dust bag, but an accessory bag to put everything in that you've got. Now, another thing, I have a Festool sander, so I have a Festool hose. Again, thank you, Andrew. Y'all need to check him out. He's getting ready to start his YouTube channel. This right here will still fit right in here, and it's a friction fit that I mean, look at there. I mean, I really have to pull on it to get it to come out. Honestly, the Festool hose is way better. Nothing wrong with the other hose. You don't need to pay all this money for a Festool hose. Can't talk today, can I? You don't have to pay all that money for a Festool hose. The other one's anti-static too. This one's anti-static. I just like the cloth. And I got a really good deal on this hose, so that's why I've got it, and a really good deal on the Festool sander. Ain't nothing wrong with Marketplace if you check it out. So that's pretty much it, guys. It's solid. The wheels are heavy duty. The container itself is thick plastic, adjustable handles. I don't know how you can go wrong getting this thing. It was on sale this Labor Day weekend, so I mean, I got 20% off of it. It was $349, and that dropped it about $78. So under $300 I got it for. So I like it. What you think, Michael Lee? You like it?
Yeah, that thing bad to the bone, Mike.
Slap that boy around sometime to wake him up. Just kidding, I won't hit him. But he's getting ready to use this to clean up the shop where he knocked over those boxes a while ago that I had sawdust in. So he's gonna clean the shop up with it. And that's the last piece I'm gonna tell you. 3-piece handle, you got your sweeper, and he's getting ready to use this. So here you go, Michael Lee. All right, guys, couple of things to wrap this video up. I know I said I was gonna wrap it up before, but I just wanna remind you a couple of things here. One, subscriptions or memberships are now available on the channel for $2.99. Like I said, for $2.99, I'm going to send out a plan or an SVG file every month to those members. If you upgrade to $7.99, I'll probably send out a couple of SVG files or a build plan each month to help you out. You get a lot of other perks with that. So if you don't mind, hit that membership button for me. But the main thing I wanted to tell you today that I will not ever forget is Jesus loves you. This is Mike from Armor Woodworks. Y'all have a blessed day. I'm gonna clean the floor, folks. That Hercules Dust Extractor make it easy, baby. Peace.